What's going on, guys? New video. I really am recording this on the spot, so this is going to be really choppy. I just got this idea just like 2 seconds ago. Although I've had the topic, which is I advocate for your own research, in my phone for a while, but then it just hit me. I should probably just talk about this right now. Because as a lot of people are coming to see, news sources, mainstream media, these sources are really not reliable in terms of the knowledge you're getting, in terms of what you're made to be aware of and what you're focusing on in the world around you. And I just wanted to say that because I believe we all should advocate for our own research, and we should all look for what we want to see in the world. If you want to see fear, you could turn on the news. You could look at that. You want to have a reason to be scared, you can look up the news. You want to have a reason to be sad, you could turn on the news, find somebody else has died, somebody, another celebrity, whatever. But I want to say that if you really want to understand life, you really want to understand yourself, you really want to understand anything in general, you have to do the research yourself, because we've been indoctrinated through the public school system, through everything that we've gone through this whole life, that you go to school, you sit down, the teacher teaches, you're the student, you're learning. But that's not how life works. Life is the teacher and the student. You are both the teacher and the student. You will grow up, you will learn things as a student, and then you will teach things as a teacher. And I always had teachers who said, I'm also a student, you teach me things, and that's how it should be. It should be this duality of learn, teach, not learn, because when it becomes this learn, just feeding students things to learn, that's not learning. All you're doing is you're forcing information, streamlining information into kids, into people, and then what ends up happening is they're indoctrinated and regurgitate the information that they've been fed their entire lives. And my main reason for saying all this is because you will see so many spew the same things that the public education system has been saying, the news has been saying, nothing new under the sun. But there is information out there that is credible, that is real, and that is true and factual. But the thing is, you have to look up this information, especially in a time like this, with the whole, I'm not going to say it, but you know what I'm talking about. The reason that we're in these predicaments, that we're in lockdown, I'm recording this video, we all have to wear a freaking mask all the time, is because there's this standard being upheld about it, Never in history have we ever done something for a virus, for any kind of predicament, any sickness, kind of health, disease, whatever. We have never done anything like this. We have never said to stand 6 feet apart. Even though we've had pulmonary, is that the right word? Pulmonary viruses or whatever. We've had stuff like this before, And now we have to wear masks, Now it's mandated to wear them, And this is a really funky situation, because you have many people saying like, oh, well, you should wear one, or no, you shouldn't wear one. But this is the thing, when the states are mandating that you should do that, that's where it gets a little ugh. And you can see that on the side of like many Republicans, or people, I mean, I don't really consider myself anything, because the left wing, the right wing is the same, is they're both wings to the same eagle, right? So like, I just don't pick a side. I think picking a side, you put yourself on a pendulum mentally. You put yourself in a group where you're saying, okay, I am on the left, I have these set of beliefs, I hear beliefs over here, I hear beliefs over here, those aren't my beliefs, I stick with this, I regurgitate what I've been taught because I'm on this pendulum of thought. Alright? And if you can see where I'm going with this, is I want y'all to think outside of the confines and outside of the structures that you have imposed on your own psyche. And that might sound like, whoa, what are you talking about? Well, what I'm trying to say is, whatever you think you are, that's what you remain to be, and you stay true to that belief inside of your head, and that prevents you from growing and you becoming all that you can be, because you are stuck with this idea or this notion that you are something. But truth be told, you were never that thing in the first place. You just like the idea, your ego attaches to it, and that becomes the new you. And this is why I'm advocating for everybody to do their own research, and don't even like take what I say as gospel, because it's most certainly not gospel, you know. I'm just telling you what's working for me. I guess I could call it my gospel, and it's working for me, you know. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you, you know. And maybe there's stuff you can learn from me, and maybe there's stuff I can learn from you. Drop stuff in the comments, and we could talk it up, chit chat, you know. I'm thinking about getting a Discord soon, so we could all have conversations on there, talk about whatever. But you don't see people advocate for that. You don't see people, oh, look this up, do that, like, because people, honestly, they don't care. Their awareness is so fixed on what has already been given to them, and they're already, you know, indoctrinated with this way of teaching, this way of learning, that, oh, okay, well, if that's really true, then why don't they teach it in school? Or if that's really true, then why is nobody talking about it? You know? But time and time again, we've learned through life that things around us are just here to trigger us. And I'm not trying to say trigger in a way that takes away from people who experience PTSD or anything, but I'm saying they trigger hormones in us. They trigger these adrenaline rushes. They trigger our dopamine. You see these advertisements, and they say, oh great, wear this, get the girl, you know, and then you're like, oh my gosh, that's social proof. That's what that's called, social proof. You're like, oh shoot, if I wear this deodorant, then I can get a girl. If I do this, I can get a girl. If I shave my legs, I would look good to a man, you know. And these are just ideas that they sell to you, you know, and the only truth to them is the truth that you buy. Because once you buy it, you have to give into the truth, right? Because if you bought it and you weren't upholding that belief, why did you get it in the first place, you know? But yeah, I just want y'all to like do your own research on things and use the internet for all that it is, because the internet really has everything you could ever look for. So I just want to encourage all y'all, like, do your own research and never get caught up in what other people are saying. And even if people are like, oh, well, you need to do this, like, no, hold on, man. Hold on. Just because we live in a world where everything is snip, snap, happens so fast, does not mean you need to get into heated discussions and come up with your whole view on a topic you know nothing about, you know? You don't waste your time getting these arguments over, you should do this, you should do that, you know? Let people live their own life, you know? People learn through, one, observation, and they also learn through the action, the consequences of that. So if people don't believe what you're saying, and you think what you're saying is true, you live your truth to the fullest, alright? You have a tenacity of purpose to live out your truth. And as you live out your truth, hopefully, you know, and one can only hope for this, that other people see what you're doing and they gravitate toward that, and they can appreciate what you're doing, and they can start to do that for themselves, you know. And that'd be observation. And then there's consequence, where some people, they need to learn that the stove is hot by touching the stove, you know. And that's just how you learn, right? You learn not to touch the stove ever again because it was hot. You didn't really have, and think of this example for like a young kid. When they're young, they don't really have the idea of hot and cold yet. But when they touch that stove, they definitely know it's hot.